All right, people, get a load of this. No matter where they are, it's always the same behavior. So this is a Japanese man. He goes on to interview an illegal migrant and look at his behavior.
Yeah, okay. Oh. Whoa, why? Hello. Fuck off. I just wait. No, I'm just Yeah, okay. Oh. Whoa, why? I'm just Japanese here trying to interview you, bro. What the fuck? I just so illegal. The other one has to get the fuck out of my country.
So as you guys know, Japan's population has been shrinking for, I don't know, at least 20 years. And if you want to see the effects of not being able to have replacement level birth rate, then there is no better country than Japan to study. For some reason, I don't know what's happened in the last 6 months or 12 months or so, I'm seeing more and more videos from Japanese people who are going on social media and reposting videos of migrants or people who are not native to Europe chimping out, basically. And there is a strong movement in Japan against people of non-Japanese culture. I don't know why they're doing this. Is it probably because Japan has suddenly started taking in more migrants? I don't know. As you saw this, obviously it's all new to the Japanese people. Japanese governments, successive Japanese governments and their people have consistently resisted against the idea of mass migration, but something's changed recently. So I'm seeing more and more videos coming out of Japan, and I'm going to show you some of those videos. Obviously, a lot of Japanese activists are now flooding social media with migrant, non-native people behaving badly in European countries. Actually, you know what? Let me play you a video of, I think her name is Jane or Jade Warwick. She's going to articulate it better than I can.
People are confused because I said Japan is racist and that's a good thing. Here is why Japan is based. All meals on Japan Airlines are now non-halal. Prime Minister Takaichi rejected plans to build Muslim cemeteries, stating, "Go back to your countries and bury them there." Minister Katayama said Japan will not follow Europe and become an immigrant society. Those are some good reasons to move there, as well as like sushi and matcha.
Jade, what are you saying? That Japanese people are the only people who say no to even first world migrants. They say no to everyone because they understand that social cohesion is a hard thing and it's a virtuous thing. It must be cherished. It must be protected. And that can only be protected if you only bring in people who not only respect your culture, but actually understand it enough to the point that they can replicate it. They can integrate and assimilate without anyone even noticing. The only thing that you should notice is if, obviously, they don't have Japanese facial features, but they have to behave exactly like Japanese people. I think only in that case you would be accepted. Maybe not even then. So I think somewhere in the middle is a good position. But you know what? In this current climate, when we can see how Europe has gone down the drain, I think it's perfectly okay for Japanese people to be racist towards everyone, not just third world migrants, but also towards everyone, even towards first world migrants.
Politeness. Basic manners. It is my dream to visit and sit at the foreigner table and have them call me slurs. Respect. Okay, arigato, matane. The people are confused because I said Japan.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? Respect. I wouldn't mind if they threw some slurs at me, but usually they actually don't. If you behave, then I think if you act like a decent person, no one's gonna say anything to you. That's my experience anyway. So have a look at Japanese Prime Minister Takaichi having a go at Muslims. Have a listen to this.
私は外国人との穏やかな、お互いに思いやりを持って生きられる付き合い方はどうすればできるんか。一遍ゼロベースで考えるつもりです。毎年毎年、私たちと文化や何もかもがあんまりにも違う人たちをまとめて入れていくということ。この政策は一旦考え直さな。
So I think before Takaichi showed up, Japan had started following in the footsteps of Europe. Hey, our population is shrinking. We need young people. So let's open up our borders. And usually people from first world countries don't go there. Usually it's the lowest of the low that goes to developed countries for economic reasons. But when they go there, they can't help themselves. They start behaving like they do in their home culture. And that's the reason why their home culture is a third world culture, because I don't know what to blame. Maybe that's how humans behave. Humans just behave the way they are raised, and it's very difficult to let go of their habits. So if they're coming from third world cultures, even if you are an educated person, as we have seen in the West, people from India coming in and littering, just fly tipping, dumping rubbish. All you have to do is just go to a tip and dispose off your rubbish legally. Maybe pay them $50, £100 or whatever that is. But they can't help themselves because they have seen that this is the way to go about. So I think Takaichi is putting a pause to it. So somewhere along the way, in the last 5 or 6 years or so, Japan had quietly opened itself up for immigration. And I think that's why we are now starting to see a major pushback from the Japanese people.
飽きません。経済的な動機で
See, refugees, economic migrants.
やってきて難民を主張する人、きちんとお帰りを。
Such people will be properly sent home. Also regarding those who overstay illegally.
いただきます。また、不法滞在の人たちにも厳格に法律を守っていただきます。私は
That's fair enough. I think you need that. Every country needs that. Maybe Japan, because look, shrinking population is a concern. I mean, you have to do something about it. How are you going to look after the elderly? And let me say, I think Japan is at the forefront of robotic technology, because they're going about the business of dealing with the elderly by making more robots. And why not? Why bring in people from third world cultures who have emotions, who have their own cultural values, and they're likely to get upset, and then they end up abusing your elderly anyway. So what's the point? So have a look at some of these clips from Muslims who are absolutely losing it at Japan. Yeah? Look at this Irani guy saying that we have wasted billions or millions of dollars because they got a good return of their investment when they invested money into European or Western universities. That's why you see all these from the river to the sea kind of mob. So they had a good return of investment there, but here he's complaining that they wasted their money on Japan because Japanese people are not budging. So they wanted to convert Japanese people to Shia Islam, not Sunni Islam, Shia Islam. But they wasted millions of dollars because obviously Japanese people are like, F that.
در طول 6 سال یه نفر مسلمان کرده بود. بعد فهمیدم اونم ژاپنی نیست. یه کارگر میگم بوتانی کجاییه.
So they spent millions of dollars and they only managed to convert one person to Shia Islam, and they found out he wasn't even a Japanese person. Respect, mad respect. See, that could only happen if your own cultural values are strong, if you have focused on your national and cultural identity, that can only happen then. In the West, people stop being proud of their heritage. Every lefty woke Brit that you ask, they always blame Britain for all problems in the world, for all the problems in the world. Why? If you ask a lefty American, they blame America for everything. It's ridiculous. But Japan probably doesn't do that, obviously. Japan is like, no, we're proud Japanese people. And I'm not saying that there are no problems in Japan. Of course, Japan has a lot of problems. But those problems are indigenous, and indigenous problems deserve indigenous solutions, not band-aid solutions by importing other people, because then you're going to import their problems as well. So now let's have a look at some Muslims having meltdowns. Look at this woman.
Like Japan is going to change. I promise 3% of the population isn't going to change Japan.
Huh? 3% of the people, 3%. She's referring to Muslims who only make up 3% of the population, and she's saying that they're not going to change anything. Really? Ask Britain, France, Germany, now Australia, and soon America. We have noticed in all of these countries, every 10 years, their population has literally doubled. Literally doubled. So in Japan, I think it's going to quadruple in Japan because Japan's native population is shrinking and these people's population is going to be exploding because that's what they love to do. So no, please, Japan, please don't let them take over, please. Anyway, this guy's Japanese. He's going to tell you how they feel about this.
Promise means nothing to me.
Yeah.
You cannot possibly promise us that when your fellow Muslim people are actively trying to change our culture and country. Lunch menu of 40,000 students from 130 different schools had to be changed for 19 Muslim students. They want to build a new burial site. And even the crime rate of foreign nationals in Japan has gone up too. What we see here is not just numbers. We can see the pattern. We all know what's going on in the UK. And we have learned from their experience. And it sounds to me that you're making an empty promise over here because you don't have shreds of evidence to prove nothing's been happening.
Recently, there was a no-immigrant protest. The image were people who look like South Asians and women who wear hijabs.
You could not be more wrong. Let me tell you what we're not happy with when it comes to immigration. It's the people who's not following the rules.
So when they say immigrants, they have a very specific idea who this group of people are. And
Very specific people who are not following the rules. Why is it that you don't talk about how immigrants are not following the rules, but instead that you're talking about how we're trying to protect the country?
when they think of Muslims, they think of those specific group of people rather than, you know, your typical Japanese Muslims born and raised in Japan. Or I think that's unfortunate.
Why would we? Japanese Muslims are a tiny fraction of Muslim population in Japan. Majority of Muslim people are coming from different countries, not from Japan. So it's only natural to think of non-Japanese Muslim people when we think of Muslim people. And it's very unfortunate that you cannot see that.
They cannot see that because they have an agenda. They always put Islam before their national identity. They don't care about Japan. They wouldn't care about Japan or Japanese history or culture. Even if some of them did, even if some of the indigenous Japanese Muslims did, but as the guy said, most of the Japanese Muslims are actually not Japanese. They're foreigners. They're mostly from Southeast Asian countries. And wherever they go, no matter where they are, they always end up producing the same results. And this is nothing new. Remember this? This happened right after the Southport massacre, when this police liaison officer, who is also a Muslim, is telling other rioting Muslims to go and put your weapons back into the mosque. Have a listen.
If there's any weapons or anything like that, what I would do is discard them in the mosque.
If you have any weapons or anything like that, what I would do is discard them in the mosque.
You don't give anybody any reason or have any interaction with the police. Like,
So don't give anyone a reason to arrest you or say that, hey, look at these Muslims, look. So we have known for a very long time that these mosques, they're not places of worship. Islam is not a religion. It's a militant political ideology. So if Japan wants to save itself from the scourge of Islamism or Islam, then ban Islam. Don't let them flourish. You heard that Iranian guy. They have wasted millions of dollars because they're trying to convert people. Now, let me show you another Muslim having a meltdown. Listen to this woman. Hilarious.
What's your take?
We should de-influence people from going to Japan. It's not that great. I feel like people gas Japan way too much.
What? I 100% disagree with that. What are you talking about?
Okay, first of all, I feel like Japan is definitely not Muslim friendly.
Hey, let me tell you, the world doesn't owe you people anything. How many Muslim countries are infidel friendly? You say anything against Islam in a Muslim country, you're fucked. You're arrested. Or worse.
Like, at
I don't
all.
like it just because it's not halal friendly.
Okay, I think food is like one of the biggest reasons why you go to a certain country, no? Like,
Exactly. 7-Elevens, banging.
no, stop lying. 7-Eleven gets tired after 2 days. Wallah. You're telling me we're having sushi, yeah? Sushi. It's supposed to be seafood, yeah? And I'm asking the lady, oh, is there pork in it? I even asked for bants, yeah? Everyone's telling me, oh, no, there's no pork. There's no. I asked for bants. And she tells me, oh, yeah, like the rice is boiled in pork water. What the fuck is pork water?
What's your
Yeah, don't go there. This is a great repellent, guys. This is what we need to do. Just have more pork everywhere. Pork, pork, pork. Look at this woman. Look at this African Muslim woman It's in Japanese. She's also complaining about Japan using too much pork. There's pork in everything. Whatever I buy or eat, there's pork. I can't eat it. That woman is laughing. That's racist. Lion King music on. So, guys, I think that's a great tool we have. No wonder Rupert Lowe is saying that I'm going to put pork everywhere. We need to put pork everywhere on every square. There's pork. Assalamu alaikum. What do you want? Pork? No. I didn't come here for pork. I came here for halal meat. Okay, well, there's halal meat over there, right behind those pork sausages. Look at this. Another Muslim woman. She went to Japan. She's bitching about it.
Going to Japan, if you're Muslim, you're not going to find any halal options. You're going to be struggling to find good ramen, that good Japanese curry. No halal options whatsoever. The whole month I was there, you're stuck eating convenience store food and freaking tofu. I don't know who lied and said there's all this halal food. Like it's all BS. It's all BS, honestly. I was there for a whole month and this is what I was eating. Can you believe that? Did you guys find halal food? Because I couldn't.
Well done, Japan. We need to learn something from Japan. We need to adopt these policies right here in the West. Look at this one. A lady says, see, that's another Japanese account that I've seen. They keep posting videos of migrants behaving badly in the West. And I think these Japanese accounts are trying to warn or educate the Japanese people that these are the dangers you're going to be experiencing or you'll be exposed to if you open up your borders to mass migration.
Japanese people hate Muslims. I think
yes,
a lot of racist Japanese people do hate Muslims because
they don't want to be blown up. They don't want to see women walking around in bin bags. They don't want people who always act privileged, people who feel entitled for everything. No. What do you bring to the table? Absolutely nothing. And then on top of that, you demand the world? Bugger off. We don't have any time for it. So good Japanese people, good. And that's not an issue of race. Okay? It's not an issue of race. Racism, the simplest definition of racism is I think that biological race is inferior. That's the definition of racism. I don't think any sane person, even ethno-nats these days, don't actually make that argument. Maybe the most extreme ethno-nats make that argument that no races, certain races are just incapable. I don't believe that. And I'm 100% certain most people don't believe that either. But it's a cultural argument. It's a cultural argument that when you grow up in a certain culture, you tend to replicate your cultural values, and those values turn into actions. And that's what people have a problem with. For example, if you start eating with your hands, then sorry, people who are not used to eating food with their hands, for example, Asian people are known for using chopsticks, they're going to get grossed out. And they say, oh, ew, what is that? That's disgusting. Like Hamdani eating with his bare hands. Disgusting. And people are allowed to be disgusted by your behavior if that behavior is not in line with their cultural norms. There's nothing wrong with that. So that's not a racist argument. So this woman is saying, oh, a lot of people, a lot of racist Japanese people hate Muslims. Well, they just probably they just don't like their behavior.
they're just racist. I don't think I hate Muslims because why would I? I don't have a reason to hate Muslims. But I think a lot of Japanese people hate Muslims because a lot of racists, they're under the American influence and they want to be racist to somebody, and being racist to Muslims is like easy because there's a lot of reasons.
Also, there are a lot of reasons. Really? What are those reasons? Blocking the streets, spraying in the middle of the streets, being a nuisance, putting women in bin bags, honor killing, FGM, shrieking Allahu Akbar in busy market squares. Those reasons, I think those are pretty good reasons not to like a certain culture.
to hate Muslims. I'm not saying there's reasons to hate Muslims, but
Oh, you did say that, darling. You just said that.
the American propaganda, they feed us with reasons to hate Muslims. And
Yeah, Americans told Muslims to behave the way they do. Yeah, Americans told Muslims to fly planes into their buildings. What are these? What a retard. What a retard. Get away from me. Okay, let me play you another video, this time from our very own Yasir Qadhi, the man behind creating the Muslim-only city, epic city in Texas, which is facing a lot of legal hurdles at the moment. We don't know if it's going to go ahead or not. Governor Abbott is making sure that it doesn't go ahead, but we'll see. Look at him.
It's no other religion has permeated. As you know, Christian missionaries have spent 500 years trying to spread their message around the world. So many Far Eastern countries have embraced Christianity. Look at the Philippines, which is now majority Christian. Look at so many other lands where Korea, so many Christians. But the Japanese people, all 500 years of Christianization, massive failure. Less than 1% of Japanese converted to Christianity. So you can say Japanese as a whole are still upon their own ideology, their own understanding.
Their own way of life. Yeah, that's what I said. They respect their cultural identity. Well done. Well done to the people of Japan.
So this reality, of course, makes it difficult for us, as we're going to come to. Islam has not been a presence in Japan for the bulk of its history.
And it looks like it's going to stay that way in Japan. So I really hope that the people of Japan do not let these sneaky, slippery Islamists come into their country and basically ruin it, just like they've ruined Europe, just like they're ruining the West. I really hope Japan maintains its cultural identity, because for all its problems, like every culture has its own fair share of problems, Japan has its problems too, but those problems will require indigenous solutions. Do not bring in these aggressive, primitive, barbaric people from hostile cultures.